Hi, I'm Greg. My girlfriend and I have been together for only 2 weeks. My friends all told me it was a bad idea, that she was just using me. But I told them they didn't know Janine like I did. After all, what'd she be using me for? She knows I'm poor. I wish I listened to my friends. Janine didn't care that I was poor. She still did her best to take every penny I had. She leeched off of me. She moved into my apartment only 3 days after she became my girlfriend, and from that day on, she depended solely on me. She took from my wallet whenever she needed gas money, and she never bought her own food. Sometimes, when we'd go out, she'd pretend she left her wallet at home when I knew for a fact she had it with her. But what was I gonna do? I was in love with her. Or, I guess, looking back, I was probably more infatuated. She was beautiful. She was a 10, and I was a 4. I counted myself lucky that she was mine to begin with. So much so that I let go a lot of the things she did to me. One day, she asked me if she could borrow my car. Sure, babe. The keys are in the hall. Just get it back to me before 6, alright? I told my grandma I'd visit her today. We're having dinner at her house. You can come if you wanna. Ew! No offense, babe, but I don't like being around old people. Suit yourself. I'll make sure to make you something for dinner before I leave. Janine came back less than 2 minutes after she drove away. She said she was only going to the mall, but she kept complaining that there wasn't enough gas in the tank, and she kept trying to get me to give her my card so she can put fuel in it. There would have been enough if she was going to the mall and back, but Janine began to pout, and I knew the waterworks were coming. So, to avoid another tantrum, I just gave her the card and told her to not buy anything impulsively. She thought I wouldn't know that the moment she drove off, she went straight to buy herself a new dress, a pair of shoes, and some jewelry. She knew I'd just pay off my credit card, and so she spent like there was no tomorrow. I could track where she used the card on my app, and when I saw that she wasn't just hanging out with her girls at the mall, I got worried. I got a notification that she was using my card at a bar on the other side of town. I texted her, but she said she was at a salon. She even made her friends send a voice note with her. But they weren't fooling me, 'cause I could hear the chatter behind them. I called her 3 times, but she didn't pick up. She then texted me that her battery was dying and that she was gonna be home by 6. I didn't want to push it. I didn't want another fight. But 6 came and went. And suddenly it was 8 in the evening. I was about to call her when I saw her FaceTiming me. When I answered, I could barely hear myself talking. There was loud music, and I could see her and her friends as if her phone was on the table. Gosh, it was such a terrifying angle. I guess nobody's pretty enough to be viewed from below. Then I realized something. There was a boy with them, and one of them was playing with Janine's hair. I screamed at her, but she couldn't hear me. I quickly realized that she had accidentally called me, and what they were talking about, I was never meant to hear. So, I heard you have a boyfriend. You sure he won't mind if I kiss you? Boyfriend? Oh, please. Greg? He's just a guy. I live with him so I don't have to work. Besides, he's poor. And ugly. How could he ever compare to someone who drives a Ferrari? That's what I like to hear. One of her friends tried to stop her. She told Janine that what she said about me was mean, and that she should just break up with me instead of leading me on. But Janine ignored her. She just laughed and told her to mind her own business. And then, the guy leaned in. That was when Janine kissed him. I screamed and screamed at my phone, but nobody seemed to notice. After the kiss, Janine excused herself. But when she picked up her phone, she saw my face. She smiled, but I could see her eyes were wide with panic. Baby! Hi! How long have you been there? Long enough. Janine rushed home after that. She drove up to the house, followed by a shiny sports car. She ran, and the guy she was kissing ran after her. I can explain! Which part? The part where I'm poor and ugly and you're just using me? Oh, okay. So you're mad at me for looking out for myself. And you're mad at me because I caught you cheating. Oh, shut up! Have you looked at yourself? You're a 2. I'm a 10. And you can't even afford to buy me nice things. Did you think I'd marry you? You're poor. All right. Give me the keys. And take your things with you. You can go live with whatever his name is. Fine. Whatever. But the guy she was with was shocked to learn that that was Janine's plan. As soon as he learned that she needed a place to live, he bailed quicker than she can say please. And Janine was left outside, without a place to go to. She tried to beg to me, but I turned up my music so loud I couldn't hear her crying anymore. The very next day, I called her friend, Jane. She was the one who tried to stop Janine from cheating on me. I took her out a few times, and we talked a lot. Then, when she went to meet up with her friends, I made it a point to drop her off. I tell you, when she climbed out of my car, Janine and her friends' jaws fell to the floor. I bought a new car. It was the most expensive Bugatti I could find on short notice. I would have paid to have it coated in gold, but that would have taken weeks, and I really wanted to show Janine what life she could have had. Jane was decked in the finest jewelry money could buy. I bought her a dress that cost almost $50,000, and her shoes were red bottoms. She didn't want to wear any of them. She said she would be embarrassed to show off, but I wanted my revenge. But how? Where did you get all this money? Always had it. Janine looked like she'd swallowed a cat. Yeah, my mom always told me to look out for gold diggers like you. So, I never told you I was rich. Now you get to watch your friend enjoy everything you wanted. I flaunted my relationship with Jane every chance I got. I would take her out to dinner, to luxurious vacations, and to red carpet galas. I posted everything for Janine to see. I took Jane to see my childhood home, and I made sure she told them how big our mansion was. We took a week off and sailed to Mauritius on my yacht, and it was then that Janine tried to ruin my life. She was so jealous, so desperate to get back at Jane that she started rumors about her. She told everyone Jane stole me from her because she knew I was rich. When that didn't work, she started becoming more and more unpredictable. She started following us. She started dressing like Jane, acting like her, and even speaking like her. One day, she came to my house begging me to let her in. It was snowing, and I didn't want her to freeze, so I did. But the moment she was in the door, she pushed me into the wall and started kissing me. It was the worst timing ever. Jane walked in just as she finished making dinner, and when she saw us, she dropped the bowl of food she was carrying, and everything shattered on the floor. There were tears in her eyes. She ran out in the snow, and I didn't see her for days. Jane didn't answer my calls. When I went to her house, she called the cops on me and told them I was a trespasser. Luckily, the cops believed me. It took about a month until I was able to finally show Jane the footage from our CCTV, and she finally believed that Janine forced her way into the house and kissed me without me wanting to. By then, Jane was furious at Janine. She ended her friendship with her and told her that if she came anywhere near me, Jane would ruin her life. Years later, on our wedding day, I thought everything was going smoothly. Life was good, and Jane and I were happy. Until, when the priest was about to let us read our vows, the door to the church burst open and Janine was standing there, all in black. She clapped, slowly. Then, she walked up the aisle. As she went, she broke everything in her way. She kicked over decorations and ripped flowers from the seats. Stop the wedding! You don't deserve him! Look at you! You're a 4 at best! I'm prettier, hotter! You're just a jealous, ugly witch! I could tell Jane was about to cry. This was the most important day of her life, and Janine just ruined it. She was hurling insults at her in front of her family and mine, and in front of our friends. I tried to stop her from coming any closer, but Janine dodged me, and before I could react, she was pulling Jane away from the altar. Jane pushed and Janine pulled, and in one moment, Janine ripped Jane's dress. She wrestled her bouquet from her and kicked my fiancé off the stage. I had enough. I dragged Janine down and told everyone exactly who she was, what she said about dating me those many years ago, and how all she wanted from me was my money. I made sure everyone in that church knew who she was. And then, I pushed her out of the church and out of my life. I knew I had to make it up to Jane, so I stopped the wedding. Instead, I arranged for every one of our guests to be flown to a private island in Greece. I had a top designer make a new gown for Jane, and that weekend, we got married in a lavish ceremony in a place that Janine couldn't follow us. I had every moment of it documented, and I made sure I tagged Janine. That way, she can watch from afar and see that she can't get back what she lost, and that she can't stop Jane and I from being together, no matter what she tried. I gotta say, it worked. Jane and I have been happily married for 4 years, and Janine never bothered us again.